Oh, he's busting out. I'm a little nervous to start a fight with that Santa, with that ambrosia. I want to make sure I keep it to, you know, from blowing up. Oh, he's on fire. No. 2 spawns per bed. Sure, we could do 2 attempts. So if you don't know what's happening, essentially I just want to load up a run. It will choose a random spot and I try to get a win from there. That's it. If I get a win from there, I can remove it from the list and we will have officially completed that biome on the biome list. The dream would eventually complete a win from every single biome. So, 2 attempts. It's too risky. It's pretty spicy. It's going to be 2 attempts, though. I mean, I get 2 shots. If I lose on my first attempt, I get another one before I lose the bet. All right. So get those predictions in, and then let's hop into it. Remember, today is going to be a slightly shorter stream. Don't worry, we still got a lot of run left today, but I just wanted to give you a heads up because I have to do family stuff later today. It is now officially Christmas Day. In fact, it's 4:22 a.m. in the morning on Christmas Day. Some kids probably going to be waking up soon to see what Santa brought for them. All right, let's fucking go. Bets are closed. Veldak, thank you for the gifted sub. I appreciate the love. Here it is, attempt number 1. Where are we going on our journey? Okay, we can do this. We can do this. Ancient Lab is a little rough, but it's not the worst thing ever because we didn't spawn directly on the Alchemist. We can do this. Why am I already berserked? I don't know. Electric Stone. I don't think I'll have much use for that, but... Oh, Teleportadium. I want to scoop up some of the Teleportadium.
Do it.
Interesting. Okay, wait, what the fuck? I have to get over there.
This guy right now, he is drenched in sweat.
Oh.
I really wish you guys could see this guy right now. He is drenched in sweat.
Fucking slime, man. Okay. Oh! Not ideal. Oh my gosh, that's so close to being able to make it out of there. Okay, okay. I'm trying to see how we're going to solve our little dilemma that we got going on here. I could just take a random telly and see how that goes. If I throw the electric stone in here... Alright, it just electrifies and... Oh, it does burn. Oh, because there was wood in it that it did catch. What was the thought process? I was trying to burn away this teleportadium. Because I think I can make it through here. Wasn't even paying attention to the wood that had landed down in it. Luckily it was there though. Use Berserkium? Oh, that's a good idea. Smart. Save some crystals. Did we get it? Oh shit, he actually could hit that shot. Damn. Oh, shit. Damn it, is he coming this way? I'm afraid of this telly. Oh, this is bad. It was a dead end. It was a dead end. I'm gonna take a bold move here, chat.
I bet you he's gonna turn up dead soon.
That's a dead end, that's a dead end. I don't know if I actually grabbed the flask in time. I did. No, 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 no. Ooh, shit. Dude. Damn it. This guy's a problem. Come on. Nope, nope, nope. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Where's the best way? I need to get over there. I hate the timings of these. These are annoying. It had the ambrosia effect. I'm like, is that... How safe do I feel about that? How much do I trust it? A lot, apparently. I do not like that guy down there. You know what's crazy is you could use that, get that healer, and then shoot the healer shots at one of the mimic guys over here, and then just mimic it up. How to do something a little bit crazy.
Do it.
Yeah, I forget about the tellying up rules. I know for the sand cave we can telly up safely, but for this area, if I try to telly up and it doesn't allow me to go into the snow area, It will just throw me deeper into here. I'm a bit scared about that. Probably in the dark cave. Interesting. Yeah, if I get a little gap into the ceiling, but the thing is, if we were going to do that, we should have did that before instead of making our way all the way over here. But yeah, if you get a little ways in the ceiling and it's considered outside the zone, then when you telly up, it should take you right out of the area. Which we still could try that. Let me kill this guy first. I had a question. Have you ever dressed up to cosplay as Agent 47 from Hitman? I have not. Should I be afraid with that question, where you're going with that? I have not. I'm sorry to break your heart. Oh, there you go. It's a bald joke. Hey! How fucking dare you? Yeah, this guy scares me. But he could be used for digging in some way. Oh my goodness. Okay, I think I can just make a break for it to the right. But I don't think there's any air pockets once you get over there. DNK throw? Yeah, just telly. The thing is, I think it'll keep us in this zone. Oh my god, I'm getting... This guy's a problem. Why'd you point left? Because the right side is sealed up. It's trying to keep me in the biome. This side has a gap of air in it. I knew the left side was I could breathe. Take the heal. I don't know where the heal is. What do you mean take the heal? You literally saw it? I did? Wait, really? I'm gonna use it. Like, over here I saw it? Okay, okay. Okay. You know, good call, good call. See, the thing is, whenever I threw it earlier, I was mainly looking at this path down here, and I was trying to assess if there was a way across, but the problem is this area is sealed. You have to go up, and I believe over, and then up. But the likelihood of surviving that is not good. Tell you the top right. You think I can hit that one? My telly flask is filled with water, by the way. Oh!
Hey, Mario! Look what I made! It's a stone, Luigi. You didn't make it. It's a football! I chiseled it!
Yes!
He did it!
Yes!
Son of a bitch did it!
Woo! And now for the hardest challenge of all. Beat Noita. And that was an alchemy lab start. That would be nice to check off the list. Free Latali? Wait, what's Latali? Latali and about? Hug the snow in the ceiling here, telly the surface. That's what chat was saying earlier, and I wasn't sure how if it'd be obvious the borderline, because my fear was trying to telly up and then just sending me down into fucking hell. Because I know on the other side, you talked about it before, the one with the snow chasm area, or not the snow chasm, the sand chasm, how you can literally teleport all the way to like above ground. Which that one's really helpful to know. But for this one, I was like, I don't know where that cutoff is going to be, you know. Can you bridge boss cheese now to make it interesting? Audio, what you're saying is known as bait. And I reject bait because I understand that you are probably a doubter. In fact, let me just /user at audio and... You're a believer? Hold up. Wait, you may be on a negative streak. Hold on. Hold on. Exclamation mark. Exclamation mark. My streak right now, audio. Check it right now. You have a 5 streak. You believed in me. You have a 5 streak, and you're baiting me into something to lose? Is it because you guys love to complain? Is that what this is? You're baiting me. I don't know what is happening. Why are the believers baiting? That's not bait, that's entertainment. That is bait. Bridge boss cheese or no balls. I only have the setup right now. Oh my god.
You have to be at least a little crazy to be a believer.
Who said that? Approximator? How dare you? How dare you? I was looking at a clip I made of you this year. I think this one is my favorite. Oh my god. The cast and sea of. The problem is there's so many of them. I don't even know. I just bombed myself there. I don't even know what to do about this. My own rats are casting it.
Perhaps it's not that teleport rideshare is overpowered. Perhaps it's just that we're so paranoid of you getting telebolt, we need to counter it ahead of
I keep slipping into it. How am I alive? What is happening right now? I swear I got electrocuted like 15 times there, but I took no damage. Chill. Do not cast that shit. Be cool, man. I'm trying to remember how... I remember this one now. That was the lamest ending. What had happened is my angry ghost had copied bombs. The moment I went to cast something, the moment I went to cast, the angry ghost spit out a bomb, which immediately blew up in the electrified blood. Be cool, man. Angry ghost, you piece of shit! He threw a bomb out! I remember that. I remember now. The trauma's all returning. Acceleration. Don't mind if I do. A heart. Also don't mind if I do. It was funny because we were talking about food a little while ago. I forgot to even bring up the fact that what we had for Christmas Eve for dinner. A very classic, very traditional Christmas meal of Korean barbecue wings. I don't know why, what happened. It was just like randomly, I guess the family just was like in the mood for it. And so we just stocked up on Korean barbecue wings. And I was like, you know me, I was like, fuck yeah. Like, I'm down for that. It was awesome. I even have some leftover ones in the fridge right now. I can get behind that tradition. Yeah, same. Same. I was like, Because I guess my mom, she just didn't want to, you know, the family was not wanting to do a ton of cooking and then have to cook again the next day. So I was like, hey, what's one of the few places that's can guarantee be able to, that'll be open and that we can get a meal and just bring it for the family gathering? Oh, Korean barbecue wings. And they were awesome. No surprise there though, right? They're always awesome. Just do Christmas the Norwegian way. Pizza Grandiosa? Pizza Grandiosa? What exactly is that? I mean, I know pizza. What is so grand about this pizza? Have you heard about the Japan's Christmas tradition of eating Kentucky Fried Chicken, KFC? Yes, we talked about this just the other day. Every year it's like discussed. We talk about how whoever that was on that marketing team for KFC in Japan, however many decades ago, that dude was a genius. A goddamn marketing genius. That managed to, like, convince all of them. This is the traditional American Christmas meal. KFC. Remember, if you see any Santa Heesies like this, because they're only available for a couple days, so you want to make sure that you get the kill credit for them. So I'm at 116. If I was to throw my red crystal and kill them that way, actually the red crystals do not give you kill credit. They're one of the few spells that it doesn't credit you. Okay, I was being a little sloppy there. I see that now. So we have to shoot them the old-fashioned way to make sure that we get the kill on Santa Claus. Another dead enemy.
By the way, I had the funniest night last night. I saw an absolutely horrifying nightmare and the intensity just kept going worse and worse, and I forced myself to wake up, only to find myself gasping for air due to sleep apnea. Good times.
Sounds safe and healthy. Also, you got to get one of those sleep apnea masks. My mom has one. Apparently, like, changed her life in terms of sleeping, because sleep's like a really big deal, you know? So, if you haven't done something to address it, you should, my dude. Huge quality of life upgrade. Don't torture yourself for no reason. Gotta get that rest. Alright, I gotta start, you know, not taking shots to the face. Oh my gosh. Every shot. It's hitting me. The fuck is that? Sleep apnea? It's like where you basically struggle to breathe properly while you're sleeping, which causes you to kind of have like you don't get proper sleep, which basically you don't get proper sleep, you're gonna feel like shit.
I'm touching this.
And so they have these little masks that help you, like, they like fucking force air into you, like you know, through your nose. I guess it's like a mask, so a nose and mouth, I guess, that helps you sleep better. It has all these, like, they have all these stats on it because it tracks like your sleeping cycle, which is apparently how it like gauges, I guess, the airflow and how much air to push through and stuff. But a lot of people swear by them. I always hear people bragging about, like, oh my god, I got the best one. I'm getting such good sleep now. Because I guess it's one of those things that people have had it for sometimes decades and just thought that's how you live the rest of your life. And then they get this mask and it, like, they sleep like a normal person, where they're getting, like, you know, 7 or 8 hours a night compared to, for a decade, sleeping like 3 or 4 hours. You're sleeping more. I mean, you can have like sleep apnea and sleep for like 7 or 8 hours, but you'll still feel exhausted as shit because your sleep was really only like the equivalent of sleeping like 3 hours, because it was garbage sleep. I don't have that. I mean, luckily I don't have that, but I think it is something that you can age into. So we'll see if I age into it. This is the most value you've ever gotten from the Bouncing Burst wand. True. I'm not really a fan of the Bouncing Burst wand, but we've been forced into this lifestyle. Damn it. Dead ends everywhere. So many Santas, though. That's an ambrosia, I think. It's actually worth it. Oh, he's busting out. I'm a little nervous to start a fight with that Santa with that ambrosia. I want to make sure I keep it to, you know, from blowing up. Oh, he's on fire? No! What a fucking chain of events. Blocked, 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 blocked. Well, is there any way to gain ownership of unstable crystal? There may be some modifiers that give you ownership of the explosion. I don't know on that one. I've honestly never tried that. I mean, there are certain spells you can attach to it. Like, I'm sure if you put a damage field on it, I wouldn't be surprised. That probably gives you the player kill credit, but that one's kind of a weird one. I'm assuming more like you mean it explodes, and that explosion is considered player-owned. Ooh, that's a little dangerous. There is a treasure chest there, but... Oh no, that's not a treasure chest. What am I talking about? I'm blind. My eyes! You know what? We're just moving on. We are just moving on. Why risk it? Bombs. Luminous drill. Oh, baby.
I'm legally blind.
I'm legally blind. Yeah, contact damage is definitely one to give you credit. I'm trying to think what else. Oh, add trigger. That's possible. Who knows? Yeah, add trigger could actually give you ownership. Kind of wasting a lot of my money right now, aren't I? Sorry, I'm a little in the zone for a second, just min-maxing everything. Drop this, pick up this, move this. I'm gonna get a... You know what? We could just grab Hungry Ghost. That's fine. Breaking out or playing it safe? We're just gonna... I don't really plan to do a lot of backtracking since the win we're going for is just a basic win. There shouldn't be much need for walking back and forth like crazy. Though I kind of am regretting it a little bit with this one. Because Chainsaw immediately is like, wow, alright, that's pretty nice, pretty nice. Hell yeah, from the Quantum Corp devs. Modding will be easy and built in. The Twitch integration would be nice as well, indeed. My advice to them, I guess it really depends. It's hard to say what their game is going to play like, but sometimes giving streamers access to Twitch integration right off the bat, depending on how complex your game is, can be a mistake. I don't know how you balance that. Make it where you, it unlocks when you get your first win, maybe, or what? I don't know what a win looks like in that game, so I guess we'd have to wait and see. Vermintide 2 had Twitch integration. It was very good, built in. I mean, Noita has Twitch integration built into it too. I'm just saying because the Quantum Corp is inspired by Noita, so I don't know how heavily inspired they're going to go. Obviously, the every pixel is simulated thing is very Noita-esque, but they have like some spell crafting system that looks like, or maybe bullets, but the same general, you know, like little cards going on. So they have something like this going on with it, where you craft stuff and you can manipulate it around to affect maybe the gunplay. But if it's really complex, it's not a good thing to throw TI on top of it, because what happens is new people that are drawn to the game, that are streamers, play with Twitch integration on. Twitch integration is usually balanced in such a way that it's meant for people to have fun with the game that know the game. So then you have new guys playing with the feature that's meant for experienced players, and then kind of throws all the game balance out the window, depending on how they, you know, how important that is to their game. Because Noita game balance obviously is a little bit crazy, but throwing TI on top of that is just too much. TI from start, bad votes unlock some after some progressions. That's the problem though too. It isn't necessarily just about bad stuff. It's about the good stuff too. Because what happens is, in a game like Noita, the heals, for example, are something that you got to learn to optimize, right? Like how to know when to heal, methods to heal, all that kind of stuff. But when you're playing with TI and people maybe vote to heal you or whatever, you just learn like that is your way to heal, right? Like you'll get random heals. So it ends up kind of, it's like anything. You rely on it and it becomes a crutch because you don't learn maybe the best way to play the game properly. So then whenever you go to play it normally, this doesn't feel as fun because you're like, I don't have the spontaneous heals and all that kind of crap. With that said, TI is amazing. We played it just today. It's amazing for the experienced people. Kind of fun how Dunk realizes the learning impairment of TI, but not of chat backseating. The learning impairment of TI, but not chat backseating. Noita is one of the games that is like, I'd say one of the ultimate games for backseating, saving you time. I wouldn't say it impairs you. It's not like it's a puzzle game or some shit like that where it's like the person just says left, right, up, down, puzzle solved, and you just like, I don't even understand the puzzle. Backseating saves you tons of times in Noita. Wand building is for sure like that. Yeah, I mean, but it's like, it depends on how crazy you're wanting to go with the wand building, right? Like, I mean, at some point it can if the chatter is blind. At a certain point, yeah, with like really, really complex wand builds, and yeah, it's like you gotta figure it out yourself if you want to remember how to build this, 100, spells long wand. You're like, well, I guess that's true, because you're not gonna, when you're placing 100 spells in a row, you're not exactly like, I know what this one does, I know what this one does. But I'm talking about in terms of just playing the game like a normal person, not like, hey, if you're doing something that's meant for people that spent, billions of hours in the game. It does impair you from learning. For reference, see Noita trivia. What? Name one thing that it impaired me from in Noita trivia. Did chat hold me back from knowing a person saying, I'm yerking it, keeping me from understanding that guy was jerking it to the fucking thick Mina mod? Is that what you're implying? Name 3 colors of the tower wands. Wait, what does that have to do with chat, though? I don't know the colors of the tower wands, but I can tell you the wands in the order from left to right, because that's how I grab them. I can tell you the far left is the, oh shit, the wand of swiftness. Wand in the middle is the wand of destruction, and the wand on the right is the wand of multitudes. If I don't know the color of them, it's not like, look at that, chat impaired you. It's like, huh? Which one of them's purple? There's a purple one? I don't know on that one. The far right one. Oh, there's a player ghost. Ruh-roh. It's that time to delete those again. It's about that time. I won't yoink it because I do feel it is a little cheaty. Do you think Quantum Corp is running the risk of being too derivative? I mean, it's hard to say. It's such in its early phase. It'd be such a silly feedback. Like, how dare you? But even if it was like they try to just purely take what Noita is, then no. I would still say you're gonna be fine, because Noita, I feel, is very unique on its own. Like it's a pretty original. Obviously, there are aspects of Noita that aren't the most original thing ever. You could say, like, if you focus on one aspect, it's not like no game in the history of Noita. It's kind of like all of it blended together ends up becoming this new flavor of a game that I don't know. I haven't found a game yet that even gets close to scratching that itch. And Noita isn't a game that necessarily broke into the mainstream either. So that leaves a perfect recipe for somebody else to take what Noita is, improve upon it, and you maybe are that game that breaks into the mainstream. Because what'll happen is, I mean, look at I mean, there's just so many things out there. You know what? Look at Dota 2 and League of Legends, all right? I know this is a weird comparison, but and this one actually makes me a little bit sad, but it's the truth, is sometimes if you take the complexity out of a game, make it a little more basic and more newbie friendly, then people are like, whoa, this is like this new original thing. When in reality, it's kind of like a more bland version of what the original thing was. So maybe that could be from a marketing, from a business standpoint. I mean, I think it wouldn't be that special, but I also don't exactly have the taste of like, you know, the mainstream. So maybe what makes a company into millionaire, like they'll be worth, you know, a game worth millions, is taking an idea like Noita. Maybe you suck out a lot of the challenging part of it. The next thing you know, you have a Noita-like game going mainstream and actually getting this all this you know, attention and stuff. I wouldn't be afraid of if I was one of those devs. I think that this kind of game, if you look at Noita's success and you are like, dang, I would love to have that success, then I'd be like, you're in a good place. But if you look at Noita and you say, man, but it didn't really reach as many people as we would like to reach, then I'd say, okay, you're maybe, you know, it's gonna be a tough journey. Because I look at Noita and I think they did, you know, they did an awesome job. They reached a lot of people, had a lot of gamers, but it depends on how big your team is and everything. What if you're like a AAA, you know, game studio? You may be like, fuck that, we have to sell 40 times what they sold. Like Quantum Corp looks like it's a small operation, an indie game, so I would assume they would look at Noita, a game that has equal success to Noita, as like, hell yeah, you did good. So to go barking up the same tree, to go into the same path that Noita walked, I think is not necessarily a dangerous route. I think that there's lots to improve on, and I would love to see their take on it. What's this new game we're talking about? It's called Quantum Corp. It's not its official name yet. They haven't chosen an official title. It's still in the early days of development. But it looks promising. Like it definitely has potential, and it is heavily Noita inspired. I feel like the main thing that would be scary if you were to be creating like a game that's pretty much just like the spiritual successor to Noita, is that if there already was a Noita 2 in the works, then yeah, maybe you would be like, fuck, we may end up, you know, we're around for like a year, and then all of a sudden Noita 2 comes along and it just stamps out any community that we were building. But the reality is, I don't think there's gonna be a Noita 2. The devs have shown no, you know, there's been no talks of that as far as we know. It looks like Noita probably will be just like the one-off kind of thing. Meaning, hey, it leaves the opportunity for any indie company to come along and be like, hey, you know, they're not interested. We would be interested in making the spiritual successor to Noita, and if they're good at it, it gives a place for the community to kind of move on to. I'm like, go for it. After 350 plus hours and a lot of consumed content, I'm starting to see the potential of just about any run to have God run potential. It's just about my skill at this point, honestly. See, you're seeing the light. You're seeing the light. Seeing the light is crucial because it allows you to, I mean, deaths are still frustrating, but in the early days, whenever you still have that mindset of like, not every run is a God run, I just got unlucky, then you sometimes you rob yourself of like, hey, there was some information from that death, and you don't pick up that information. You kind of like leave it behind. The moment you start dying in Noita, and every time you die, you at least take a nugget of information about like, oh, that's how I got. I won't make that mistake again. Then you start to just pile that information up, and you start to become like unkillable. And before Noita 2 announcement, it gets released for Dunkbot 2.0. I mean, don't get me wrong, I would love for Noita 2. It's just like, you know, obviously just because we want a Noita 2 doesn't mean that the devs are, you know, they got their own lives. They're living their own lives. And it just doesn't seem like anything that they were ever planning for. They kind of just made Noita. It was fantastic, and then they moved on to other stuff. And for anybody who actually wanted to see it, here's a clip of the game we're talking about that hasn't got their official name yet, but here's their Christmas video.
That is the advice that got me really hooked on the game. Learn something every death.
Yeah. I mean, it's easy to rage. You guys know me, I still rage. But when I die, you do notice I'll tend to stare at the screen. I'm like, why did I fuck that up? What could I have done differently? And your answer should never just be like, oh, I should have, you know, it needs to be something that is, it makes sense to look back in hindsight. Sometimes people look in hindsight and say like, oh, I should have done this instead. Where it's like, well, you couldn't have known that at the time. But like perk selection is a good example. Like if you have the option to grab explosion immunity, but you don't, instead you opt to take something else, and then you walk out of the zone, walk to the left, and then a nuke blows up and it instantly kills you. Some people say, oh, I should have walked right instead. It's like, well, no, you have no way of knowing, oh, you're going to get shot by an off-screen nuke. That's going to be inevitable. But what could you have done to survive that off-screen? Well, instead, when you selected your perk, you should have grabbed explosion immunity. That way, when that moment happened, you could have survived it. Those are the decisions that help you come to the conclusion and keep you to survive consistently. But this video kind of doesn't do it the best justice, I don't think, because there's a lot of like, you can see when I have it paused, there's a lot of artifacting and stuff going on. So if you think this even looks like decently good, I think in your actual like client running on your computer, you'd be like, holy shit. In fact, I'll play another video. Not all the other videos have as much artifacting going on. No, it's not officially announced yet. We watch clips from it all the time because they post really regularly. They only have this Discord for their, I guess, their indie studio name, which is Meat Bat Games, and they post really regularly. Like you can see, the 19th. So this is the 23rd, the 13th. Like they're really good about sharing stuff. It's kind of cool. I always feel like there's devs that share information and then and you're thinking, ooh, I'm gonna follow their development, and then they go just like radio silent for like 6 months or a year. That hasn't been the case so far. They're constantly hitting us with updates. So here they're kind of showing off the ability. So this is where you can see this game has got a little bit of its own original ideas, and who knows what maybe it'll be amazing. Where you're collecting, you literally are, I guess, in the same way that you scoop up with like a potion or a pouch, you can like gather materials. So you're like gathering these materials, or sucking it up in like a vacuum, and then he's spraying it onto an enemy to kill them. And they kind of just made like a little bit of a meme at it, where he just screams and dies. Now that may seem a little bit crazy, but they've shown in other clips where you vacuumed up a material and then you went and turned it in somewhere, and it actually gave you I guess the equivalent of what a spell is in this game. It gave out like a little spell card, but this one, theirs look like they're more like it's bullet focused, which originally that's what Noita was built on, was a gun system, but then they switched it over to wands. So for the people that data mine, they're the ones that told us, because they say, oh, in the code, everything is like guns. It doesn't say wands. It says guns this, guns that. But yeah, I mean, me and the community are watching all their updates all the time. So as it gets closer, I'm sure you'll see me watching more and more on repeat. But for now, it's the early days. The Discord this isn't some like secret Discord. Like this is a public Discord that anybody can hop into and track their development. Yeah, looks cool though, right? I have no idea. I know they have some people working on it full time. I think they have two full-time programmers and one full-time artist, I think is their setup. Something like that. Looks nice, but the fluids seem a bit too flowy. That's exactly what my feedback was earlier. Again, though, it's kind of hard to like give feedback 100% confident because we haven't played the game. But just off the little I've seen, it seems like maybe chat was saying like the viscosity. Yeah, bring up that viscosity, make it more thick so that it flows a bit more instead of just like launching. It just makes it seem like everything is just like so quick. But who knows? Maybe if we were to play it, it's like, oh, it makes sense why it's this way. But it does look very flowy. Couple digging bolts as well. It's It's going to be kind of a greedy move, but I think I'm actually going to drop my damage wand just so I can... so I can hold this wand. Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't it just an engine work in progress? There isn't a solid gameplay idea yet. No, I think that's kind of what they're showing with their clips, is like they're feeling out ideas. Because they definitely have concepts, and in the early days they were talking about trying to get the engine working like how they wanted to. But I think that's why they brought in the artists once they started to actually try to go in a certain direction. They've talked about like the setting for the world, that kind of stuff, but they haven't talked about like in detailed mechanics, I guess. I think it was shit. You can read on it. It's all on their Discord. It's not like I said. It's none of this is like top secret information. It's all, you know, it's out in the public. You can read it. That's why I thought the name would have come out by now, because one of the posts made it seem like they were going to be announcing that whatever the official name is like somewhat soon. But I guess maybe that's just in the grand scheme of things soon, which is not for a while. Ooh, explosion immunity, of course. Mr. The Dunk, you have let me down. You have not delivered DunkBot 2.0 this year like you promised. I've invested too much here to deal with this scam any longer. Tomorrow, I'm reporting you to the Better Business Bureau with the intention of getting all my sweat back. Do better. Be better. How dare you treat your fans like this? We're so close. We're so close. So speaking of the hype, who's making the release trailer for DunkBot 2.0? My brother has said several times that he wanted to make a trailer for it. I was like, I don't know if it'll be necessary. We'll have to wait and see. He's like, but if there is going to be one, he's like, I'm going to make it. I was like, all right. If we need one. Got it. Yeah, I would say that in Quantum Corp's like development phase that they're in, I mean, anything can probably change at any time. Even the current aesthetics. I think it's one of those things that you kind of just, you push forward with ideas until you got one that kind of clicks. Listening to the Noita devs talk about when they were making Noita, it seemed like they had several moments like that where they were, maybe not for all like the graphics and everything, but for mechanics, that they were just trying stuff out, and eventually they got a feel for what they were like, ooh, this is what we want Noita to be like. Yeah, I'm just happy Quantum Corp exists. Same. It makes me hopeful, because it means that there are people that look at a game like Noita and they say, hey, I want to make a game like that, and they're willing to, you know, spend a lot of time and money to try to pull it off. So I wish them success. What's the function of DunkBot, and what will the function of DunkBot 2.0 be? And Merry Christmas. Yes, what's up there, Senior Carne? The functions of the current DunkBot is just, you know, chat interaction stuff. Pretty much just a simple chat bot, plays sounds, deals with channel points. DunkBot 2.0 was basically a way to expand on a chatbot by making it like a client that people can interact with. That's all. I think it's pretty original, but I don't know if it'll be good. Original does not always mean good.
If you won't release DunkBot 2.0 this year as promised, I think it's only fair if you set a new date for release. And we choose a proper punishment if you won't release
No! Listen, we don't... Just... Don't worry, let me just keep pushing forward, my friends. I'm pushing forward, damn it. It's Bitcoin miner / state sponsored spyware. Thanks for your confidence. I appreciate you. Okay, toss that. Actually kind of need that one triple, but whatever. Toss that. Grab this.
No, give us a new date. Because I know how you work. This whole year we heard how this is DunkBot 2.0 year.
Yeah,
and
but
a few weeks ago you still confirmed it, and now we extend to 2026.
Listen,
from. We are
Grand
very
Theft
close.
Auto.
We'll end up in. I think.
Oh shit. Grand Theft Auto 6 tried to run from DunkBot 2.0's release date. I couldn't let him escape. We had to follow him. It sucks whenever an Uko is in liquid, because basically the electricity that's in the liquid is hitting him, which then heals him. So he's electrifying himself, which then heals himself. Fly over him? Yeah, I may try to kite him out of there. We have some good digging. So if I get below him... acid ball. Great balls of acid. There we go. Do a little bit of that. Now he's no longer in a liquid. He's like running back down to the liquid. He's like, no, I love the infinite heals. Don't take my heals away from me. Oh, Hungry Ghost just ate his Uko shot. Hungry Ghost is like, yes. It was delicious. Hey, a heart. Hey, get off me. So we actually have some pretty darn good damage now. Only we had an add mana, but till we have an add mana, we'll have to use an add mana at home, aka making custom or concentrated mana to juice up our mana. Alright, take a couple sips. Alright. Will allow us to spray a bit more. Spray and pray. Read my Duke question. I really want to know. Oh, my bad. Till 200%. Oh, hell no. Also completely unrelated is a fast way to dupe stuff to go far enough in parallel worlds, cast return, take a portal, and just loop that. So that would be true if whenever you jumped those you know, 7 or 8 parallel worlds or whatever, like you jumped and you're like, oh, it duplicated 1 to 2, and then you're thinking I gotta run all the way back and then jump again and then 2 to 4, but it doesn't quite work like that. What happens is when you do that big jump, the engine kind of like fucks up and it's like it generates the world twice in the same spot, and then sometimes if you walk back and forth between the edges of the two, because picture everything's like a checkerboard, right? Everything's a checkerboard in terms of world generation. They're generated in these like squares. So if you walk out of the square and like to the edge and then back in, it will sometimes keep reloading that square over and over, even though you're no longer making the big jump. You're just literally, as your character, walking 2 inches over here, walking 2 inches back, and it will just keep reloading it. This is why the duping stuff is so janky. Sometimes a person has only done that parallel world jump one time, where they jumped 8 parallel worlds, yet it resulted in it duping like 100 Sompos, you know, and you're like, uh-oh, like that's not what you wanted to do. It sounds weird, but if you've watched it take place, if you watch any duping ever, it'll start to make sense. You're looking for, the screen will flicker, and you're basically, imagine this. Imagine my character's right here. I do the huge jump, and I land right here. And then I walk just slightly to the right, and all of a sudden you see this square over here do a little flicker. And you're like, oh, it just duped. Then you walk back to the spot, walk here, and it flickers again. And you just go, flickers again, flickers again. You're just duping over and over. So 1 to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 8. And you got to be very careful. 100 Sompos mean 100 Colmy? Not necessarily. You can pick up a Sompo, kill Colmy, and then intentionally place the Sompo down, and then just start duping that one Sompo without Colmy around. I don't think it would allow you to have 100 Colmies. I think it would literally just crash. I don't know what is the most Colmies I've ever seen duped, but I want to say I've seen like, you know, 20 Colmies or some crap before all at the same time. I have no idea how high you can push it before the engine is just going to shit itself. I almost understood that answer. So casting return and taking a portal isn't a reliable way to dupe multiple times. Well, it isn't really a necessary way, because you're talking about doing it so that you can like, so you're like wanting to make the huge jump and then go back and make the huge jump again and then go back, thinking that it's necessary. But I'm saying you only need to make the huge jump one single time, and then you've already bugged out the engine just off of the one time. Then from there, just kind of pace back and forth in place, and the engine's going to kind of freak out. And that will cause the duping to take place over and over and over. You no longer need the huge jumps. The one jump breaks the engine. From there, it's just moving in place. And at some point, you need to say, okay, I need the duping to stop. And sometimes you have to close your game and then load it back up to get it to stop freaking out. Be careful if a chunk dupes and then you mod restart after some dupes. Let's say there's 10 of each entity in the chunk already saved. If it continues to dupe, then instead of adding one more copy of everything, it adds 10 of each. Yeah, so listen to Tully. He's done a lot of experimentation and he knows that stuff pretty well. So yeah, be very careful of duping is what he's trying to say. You may end up bugging your game out. May get pretty jank. Alright, I'll take this. The damage field's kind of tempting. I don't know if I want to run a damage field. Let me check these mountains for any lava. I have an idea of something I may want to do. Alright, the mountains are looking pretty safe. We jump in here, we check this out. Oil, crit on oil. Oh man. We are looted. Well shit. Crit on oil. Put up the chainsaw. Oil. That means that these triple K bolts are hitting 5 times harder now, even though the statue doesn't show it. Can you explain why you order your spells in that way for the main damage wand? Okay, sure. Pretty simple. The main thing I'm looking at here is this is spell casting of 2. That makes this wand a little bit weirder than most. In fact, if you end up at the end of the explanation not really understanding that well, I wouldn't obsess over it because most of the time you're building on wands that are spellcasts of 1, and those are the ones you need to be comfortable with building with. But by being a spellcast of 2, it basically just means there's a double stuck here at the beginning, and every time you put down 2 spells like this, there will be another double that goes after it because it's spellcast of 2. Everything is cast in groups of 2. So first group will be a triple K bolt and a digging bolt with just a single shot. See, group number 1. And then group number 2 will be 2 triple K bolts. So group 1, group 2, group 1, group 2. In fact, having a different spell there would probably make it a little easier to see. Group 1, group 2, group 1, group 2. So since you know that it's cast in groups of 2 like that, basically what I did was I did the classic where, okay, oil has negative 0.25 cast delay and negative 0.17 recharge. And they're both cast at the same time. So if I shoot this, not bad. Not bad at all. If I had 2 oil, like if I had another oil to cast with this group, that would be enough for recharge to take that recharge time. Because right now it's 0.27. So 0.27 recharge minus 0.17 means 0.1 remains. And so if I just had another oil, I mean, there's other stuff I have here I could use, but if I had another oil, that one also could take away all of the recharge time. So if you're ever looking for another of the same spell, what do? You spell wrap. So what happens here is these 2 spells are cast as a group. If I put anything afterwards, like let's say a speed up, what's going to happen is there are no spells to the right of it. So it'll cast the first group will be these 2 spells. In the next group, since there are 0 spells here, but there is a modifier, this is a modifier, it's looking for a spell. It will actually grab this at the beginning and place it here. And since it's in groups of 2, it will actually grab the second one as well and place it there. So first shot's going to be these 2. The second shot is going to be these 2 as well, but with a speed up in front of it because it's wrapping and grabbing them like this. So watch it on the board. You can see it clearly. Shot number 1, shot number 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. Now that I have 2, now it sees the oil twice. I get the benefits of the oil twice. So having 1 of them, I hold it down. Having 2 of them, because of the wrapping, when I hold it down, you see how this one's a little bit harder to see the speed up. It is slightly faster, but not like, night and day. It's just a very slight speed up. You have to actually add in this cast delay. Let me look. It's pretty minimal. Let's see. You see, you can kind of hear it. It's like a point. We can actually do the math that we could calculate the speed up. We can make it go even faster if we wanted to incorporate like a chainsaw instead. That's a rant for another time. But I actually want to go with the oil intentionally is the best one. Because then I can put the crit on oil. Both of these are modifiers, both being cast here. So this is all one group, all cast at the same time. And then wrapping it can be a double spell, or it could be a modifier. It just needs to be anything that is looking for a spell to attach to after it. So I tend to put something that is cheap. This costs 0 mana. It needs a spell after it. It grabs this, which grabs this, which grabs this, which grabs this. So it ends up wrapping everything. That one, like I said, this one can be a little confusing. Don't get obsessed if you're like lost a little bit on it, because the spell being a spellcast of 2 really throws off the what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know why my brain's too fried for wording, but basically it doesn't just naturally flow. I feel like when the spellcast of 1, it's a lot easier to lay out everything. Common sense. Yeah, there's another word for it. I don't know why I'm blanking out right now. Where you just can you just naturally start to learn how to toy with the wands. The 2 cast ones, they happen so rarely. Yeah, like I said, don't worry about it. We'll find another better wand in a bit, and then you'll probably have a better time understanding what's going on there. So what I've done is I've re-ventured back out into the dangers. Actually, you know what? Since we're going in the Hisi base, we might as well use the Hisi base to heal. Hisi base is one of those places that you can actually look at. The zone itself is a heal zone. It's an area where you can set up healers and get infinite heals. Ooh, Iron Stomach is huge for us, because one of the things that you'll probably notice we're struggling with right now is our mana issue. Well, if I grab Iron Stomach, then we can just drink mana forever. We can drink all of the mana. Alright. And we start to drink. Not the fish. Why build a god run when you only need to go get a win? Well, it's not that I'm going for a god run necessarily. I'm just grabbing things that will make it where we can really just bulldoze our way. Bully our way through the late game. He's just stalling. What? I would never. Alright, we got all that going there. Run out here real quick. Ooh, it's kind of dangerous actually. There's something missing here. Oh yeah, because we have oil in this build, and we have the crit on oil, this is all being cast together. It means that when these triplicates hit stuff, they actually hit for 5 times damage. That's the advantage of having the material spell plus any crit, or not any, the crit that matches the material. So oil, crit on oil, together, very powerful. And when you see a modifier, it gets really exciting when you have these crit builds, because a modifier like Heavy Shot says plus 44 damage. You're like, oh my god, 44 damage, that's huge. Well, remember, with the crit is 5 times damage. So you would do plus 44 times 5. So you would do 220 damage off of that one modifier. Real quickly, I need to find some healers. Gotta be kind of careful. Healers, where are you? I need you. I'm looking for a dude with the green gun. When I say healer, it's kind of hard to not kill them, because you just see enemies, you just start blasting. There's a spark timer. I guess we could use this as our delivery system maybe for damage. Kind of want to have both of these though. Was that a healer? That is a healer. That wasn't even the one I was looking at. I was looking down there. Hello, healer. We have a friend. Now, to see who we're going to get him to heal with. There's a couple different methods we could use to get him to heal. Preferably, you would have some kind of... Oh, second healer. That's the best one. Double healers? Easy mode. So you kick one healer so that he's injured. Second healer, you also kick him so he's injured. Don't shoot him because you don't want them to die. And then now we wait for them to make sweet healer love. Oh shit, hold up. There's a dude coming. Stay out of this. Don't worry, they'll do it. They're so close. What's happening? Is their brain... What the heck, healer? Get back here. Stop being a pain. Alright. There was a healer down there. I knew I didn't see... Wasn't seeing nothing. There we go. 2 healers. Both are injured. They try to heal each other. We're in the middle. We're sandwiched between 2 healers. They're asexual. Respect their orientation. That's my bad. My bad. I forced them to do this. I needed it, damn it. Don't judge me. Now what we could do is we could run... let's put this up. That can go there. Don't really need any of that. There's so many different directions we could take this run right now, but we're doing a simple basic win. So like Latali that we're saying, why go overkill? So I think they're probably right. So in this scenario, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cram. Actually, no, it needs to be just 2 spells in there. The triplicate and the oil crammed together after the magic arrow timer, and we're going to put this in there with it. So now we shoot, and because oil and explosive projectile, they actually have a special interaction where oil cast at the same time as explosive projectile actually on their own. Watch this. So oil by itself, you cast it on the statue, it does no damage. It's just material, it's just oil. But if you put an explosion on that oil, what happens is it actually hits for 330 damage. Pretty crazy. The downfall is it can kill the player. You have to be explosion immune if you want to use this safely, which coincidentally, I am explosion immune. So huge damage for very cheap. This is what we're going to run. And this will make it so that we really don't need to do any backtracking. I had this plan to go kill the pyramid boss and all kinds of funkiness. But since we don't need to do all that today, it's a bit overkill. See, we're doing significant damage right now. Another explosive projectile. That's pretty crazy. And I'll even re-roll it. And All-Seeing Eye or Shield. Both pretty great. Shield's the safer bet just because sometimes I get shot from off screen and then it reflects it. And I like that. Now all we need to do is find a wand that we can build on. And this jungle is the place to go. The jungle is like the mega loots place. In terms of like most of my runs, if I'm ever missing, for example, this wand right here is kind of not cutting it. This will be the place that we almost guaranteed we'll find a better wand. It's not 100%, but it's highly, highly likely. And I don't grab the heal yet because I'll probably need it a bit. There's heals right here. In fact, that is enough heals that we shouldn't have to worry about going back to healers or anything for the rest of the game. As long as we use them correctly. I'll go ahead and grab this heal because we know we have these heals in here as backup. So if I need any more heals, I have them sitting there. I have 2 of them up here for emergency. Why am I holding on to that freeze? I don't know. What did I do with my Luminous Drill wand? I dropped it somewhere and then forgot about it. It's no big deal. Usually you got to be careful with those kind of resources. Luminous Drill is one that you really do need to keep with you. But since I'm going for the basic win, I'm allowing myself to even kind of leave important stuff behind right now. Being a bit sloppy. Because we just need a wand and then we're set. You know what? Screw it. Maybe I am going to jump into this dragon fight a little early. You could build a way better damage wand before we fight them, which is what I was wanting to do. But whatever. Kind of scaring me a bit. And there is our wand for the rest of the run. Woo! And then I'm just going to run over, piece together a god wand, and then we're just going to run through the rest of the world, and we will hopefully have completed another random start location, a new one, from the Alchemist Lab. Which is one I'm pretty happy to check off. It's not like an insane one, but it's also not like just a freebie. These are all bullshit explosives, we don't need that. So, arrow timer. Crit on oil. It's another spellcast of 2, but that's not going to factor into what we're building. Explosive projectile. You know what? We're even going to put on this second explosive projectile. Having 2 of them means that it will affect all of our projectiles in a big way. I'm going to go quad and a triple. So 4, 5, 6. And then put down 1, 2, 3... 4, 5, 6, and then we also want to put the heavy shot on here. Heavy shot adding 44 damage. Remember, it's times 5 because of the oil and the crit on oil being in the same group. So that means that 44 is going to be plus 220 damage. Plus 220 damage to every single projectile in the group. In fact, this one is 3 projectiles. So that means that it is an additional 660 damage just off of this grouping. In fact, if you wanted to, you could swap out one of these others, do like that, and that's another 660. But let's see how this fires off right now. How happy are we with this? Might as well throw more in the group, right? There's no reason not to. Throw that in there. How are we looking? Still not running out of mana. Still not running out of mana. Running out of mana. I like that. I think that'll work. Run around, deleting the world. And if you're curious, just how much damage are you doing? I'll show you on the next statue so you can get a glimpse of just how powerful the wand is. So there's the statue. Let's shoot it with a small burst. A solid, was it 21,000 damage? Something like that. I think that was 21,000. Something like that. Oh, there's spitter timer. Now that one is significant. So we don't need the exploding corpses, because exploding corpses gives you explosion immunity. That's the only reason you would want to grab it. It does some other effect, but you don't really want it. I already have explosion immunity. So then the heart is likely what we're going to grab. Now, Magic Arrow with Timer costs 35 mana, and it kind of delivers the payload in a crappy way that I don't like very much. But now, there's a wand here, Spitter Timer. If we put this at the front, I like this with a speed up. It's a pretty nice combination. Like, look at that. You can shoot them way off screen. Gives you a lot more reach. I dig it. Can a brother get a black hole? Yeah, I am missing a little bit of black holes right now. It's but not a big deal. Black holes are important whenever you're doing god runs. I do not go this far in if I haven't found a black hole or something really good to dig yet. I tend to stay in those earlier zones, just looking at every corner, because you will find something if you just look hard enough. But since we're just going for a basic win, I'm like, whatever. We just can keep running forward. It's not that big of a deal. As you can see, just some spraying around the areas. Nothing too wild happening. Kind of hard to see the background and stuff, or not the background, but the terrain, because the background is dark. The terrain's all burn up. There you go. There's our win. Say hello to our little friend. Let's roll this. Actually, let's see if there's any. There's a light shot. No black holes, though. Oh, wow. We got the heart again. So normally in a longer run, you would definitely be grabbing something like the fire immunity. But again, we don't have big plans. This one's a simple basic win. So just stack our health up as high as possible. So now our real fear is just polymorphine. That's the thing that I am the most concerned about right now. It'd be the thing that insta-kills us if we're not careful. Distance speedruns, my best was around 17 minutes. Are there any tips I can use that are not glitches? For speedrunning, like getting wins as fast as possible? I think when it comes to Noita, whenever you play normally, you start to get used to like you see an enemy and you try to deal with that enemy. So like you run up on an enemy, see bad guy, and you try to deal with them, and then you try to move ahead quickly. Speedrunners, if you watch the speedrunners, they don't even deal with them. They just run past them. It's actually one of the things that it's kind of funny. It kind of takes a little bit of the magic of Noita away, where if you're running quick enough, it actually makes the game easier. The enemies all have this thing where they see you, and they're like, oh, an enemy? All right, let's fight. If you're moving fast enough, the enemy goes, oh, and you're just past them before they begin. I don't know what it is. They gave them like a kind of a forgiving window of like, oh, I've locked onto you, time to be aggressive. In a lot of games, it's usually like you're near them, boom, they react to you, right? But in Noita, you literally can just slip by them real quick because they take a moment to like register you're there. I guess it's kind of like their version of their like pathfinding and stuff, because they don't naturally just move towards the player at all times. You have to aggro them, and because they're not aggroed to you, when you're running by them, it's like you aggro them, but by then you're already out of there. If you really want some, pro moves, you can always go to the speedrun, category and for Noita's on Speedruns Live, which is, let me link you this. I don't know if this is the most helpful, but should give you an idea of what I'm talking about, where I say the speedrunners. See, come on, speedrunner, give Noita, come on. There you go. I'm gonna link it in chat for you, but here you can see the most insane speedrunners out there, the dudes that are hauling ass, and you'll notice that all their runs are kind of just moving real quick. A lot of them are black hole dependent and all that, so I don't know if every category will be useful to you, but there are a lot of categories that you can watch them they'll just run past enemies as fast as they can. I have some experience in the game, and I'm able to reach pretty much all the bosses and areas, but my God run success is like with a 1 in 30 chance. Should I focus more on basic wins to get more experience? I'm able to reach pretty much all the bosses and areas. If you're able to reach every boss, I would say your issue that you're probably having is that in the early game, you probably know like, hey, I already have enough damage to kill enemies in the next area. I'm already, I'm not afraid, and you're moving ahead. But sometimes the thing about staying in the early game isn't because you're always powering up in the sense of more damage. Sometimes you're getting more health, or sometimes you are looking for that black hole spell. Basically, leech more resources from the early game. It is slower, and a lot of times unnecessarily slower, but it does guarantee that you will get God runs. A lot of experienced players, you'll notice they just kind of sprint ahead because they know, I'll find it somewhere. I'll find it somewhere. And they're right. Usually you will. But why even open yourself up to that chance of like getting really unlucky and frustrated? Instead, every zone, leech every ounce of spells and health and all that crap, and you will guarantee every run is going to go your way. Besides the occasional polymorphine shot, which is what I'm afraid of right now. In fact, if most days that you watch me, you'll see me kind of going around with black holes, but if you're watching me right now, you'll see there's no black holes. In fact, a lot of my runs, when I do them, people will say, you always find ad manas, you always find black holes. Well, you'll see today's run is missing those things. I did find chainsaws, which is another one that people say I always find, which I guess is true today. But the reason I'm pointing that out is because I didn't spend the time I normally do in the early game, which means I don't have the normal, every single great spell that I normally would have. Over here. Alright, so this should be a really straightforward and easy kill. In fact, we have 0 orbs, meaning that whenever we start the boss fight, we can literally just shoot and he just immediately accepts our damage. Normally, you have to we wait because the orbs and everything, but it's not the case today. Alrighty. And sadly, we don't get... Listen, I didn't prioritize going to the God Gamer graveyard. Oh, wait. It's Christmas. Of course we're not going to die where the peasants died. Now, this may take a while, in fact. Kind of a rare thing to go to the God Gamer graveyard with such a shitty build. There it is, chat. A random start dub. Whew.